Most people think their plants are the problem, but it's actually the soil slowly killing them. You water more, you add fertilizer, you try again, and still, nothing really changes. Your plants stay small. Growth is slow. The harvest is disappointing. And at some point, it just feels like gardening is harder than it should be. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. If your soil is weak, your plants never had a chance. Because soil isn't just dirt. It's supposed to be alive. Right now, your soil might be dry, compacted, almost lifeless. Water runs off instead of soaking in. Roots struggle to grow, and no matter what you add on top, the system underneath isn't working. But here's where everything shifts. Healthy soil doesn't need constant fixing. It fixes itself, and once that happens, watering gets easier, plants grow faster, and your harvest improves almost automatically. So the real secret isn't adding more. It's rebuilding the system underneath. Because in nature, nobody fertilizes the forest. Nobody waters it. Nobody digs it. And yet, it thrives. The soil stays soft, rich, full of life, because everything works together. And once you understand that, you can do the exact same thing in your garden. And the key to all of this is simple. You stop treating soil like a surface and start treating it like a living system. Because in nature, nothing grows alone. Leaves fall, plants die, everything returns back to the ground. That layer builds over time. It protects the soil, feeds it, keeps it moist, keeps it alive. Now compare that to most gardens. Bare soil, direct sun, constant disturbance. It dries out fast, it hardens, life disappears, and then we try to fix it. From the top. More water, more fertilizer, more effort. But the foundation is still broken. So instead of fixing symptoms, you fix the system. And once you do that, everything above it starts to work better. But before we get into how to fix it, there's one thing you need to see clearly, because this is where most gardens fail. Most people unknowingly destroy their soil while trying to improve it. They leave it exposed. They dig it too often. They remove organic material instead of adding it. And slowly, the soil loses structure. It becomes compacted. Water stops soaking in. Air can't move through it. And without air and moisture, soil life disappears. That's the real problem. Because plants don't just grow in soil. They depend on what's living inside it. And when that life is gone, no amount of fertilizer can fully fix it. So instead of feeding the plant, you start feeding the soil, and that's where everything changes. This is the one thing every healthy garden has, and most people still underuse. Compost. It looks simple, almost too simple. Just decomposed kitchen scraps, plant waste, organic material. But what it does is powerful. Compost feeds your soil, not just your plants. It adds nutrients slowly, improves soil structure, and most importantly, it brings life back into the soil. Think of it like this. Instead of giving your plants fast food, you're building a full, healthy system underneath them. And that system keeps working over time. Here's how to use it. You can mix compost directly into your soil before planting. Or even easier, just spread it on top. Let nature do the rest. Worms pull it down. Microorganisms break it apart. No effort needed, just a steady input. That slowly transforms your soil from the inside out. Most people think watering is the problem, but what actually matters is what happens after you water. Because if your soil is exposed, it starts losing moisture almost immediately. Sun hits the surface, water evaporates, and your plant goes right back into stress mode. That's where mulching changes everything. Mulching simply means covering your soil with organic material, like straw, dry leaves, or wood chips. And it does something surprisingly powerful. It locks moisture into the soil. It protects the roots from heat. And it creates a stable environment where plants can actually grow without constant stress. Instead of drying out every day, your soil stays evenly moist. And that one change alone can dramatically improve plant growth. Here's how to use it. Spread a layer about 5 to 10 centimeters thick around your plants. Use whatever you have: straw, leaves, grass clippings. Just make sure you leave a small gap around the stem so moisture doesn't build up there. That's it. No special tools, no complicated steps, just covered soil and a system that starts working with you instead of against you. This is how your soil improves. Even when you're not gardening. Cover crops. Most people leave their soil empty after harvest. And that's a mistake, because bare soil doesn't recover, it degrades. Cover crops are plants you grow not to harvest, but to feed and protect your soil. Plants like clover, rye, or vetch. And they do something incredible. Their roots break up compacted soil. They pull nutrients from deep layers. Some even add nitrogen back into the ground. But here's the best part. When you cut them down, they become food for your soil. Everything goes back. Here's how to use them. After your main crops are done, plant a cover crop. Let it grow. Then cut it before it fully matures and leave it right there on the soil. No digging, no removing. Just let it decompose. Your soil improves. Even when you're doing nothing. This might be the most powerful soil boost. In the smallest amount. Worm compost, also called vermicompost. It's what happens when organic material passes through worms, and the result is incredibly rich. Packed with beneficial microbes, full of plant-ready nutrients. Extremely effective, even in small quantities. It's like a concentrated version of healthy soil, and plants respond to it fast. Here's how to use it. You don't need much. Just mix a small amount into your soil when planting, or add a handful into planting holes. You can even sprinkle a thin layer on top. A little goes a long way, because you're not just feeding plants. You're boosting the entire soil system. What if improving your soil was just doing less? That's the idea behind chop and drop. Instead of removing plant waste, you leave it. You cut plants at the base and let them fall onto the soil. That's it. No cleanup, no extra work. And yet, it does exactly what your soil needs. It returns nutrients immediately. It protects the surface, and it feeds soil life as it breaks down. It's basically composting, without the compost pile. Here's how to use it. When plants finish growing, cut them down. Leave everything in place. Over time, it disappears, and your soil gets richer, without you doing anything extra. Less effort, better results. A single handful of forest soil can completely change your garden. This is something almost nobody talks about. Forest soil inoculation. Healthy forests are full of life, bacteria, fungi, microorganisms working together, and your garden might be missing that. So instead of waiting years, you can introduce it instantly by adding a small amount of soil from a healthy, natural area. Not a lot, just a handful. That's enough to introduce beneficial life into your soil. Here's how to use it. Find a healthy forest or natural area. Take a small amount of topsoil. Mix it into your garden soil or into compost and let it spread. It's like jump-starting your soil biology. A small action with a big long-term impact. And when you combine these methods, something powerful starts to happen. Your soil gets darker, softer, easier to work with. Water starts soaking in instead of running off. Plants grow stronger with less effort. You stop constantly fixing problems because problems show up less, and your garden starts to feel different, more stable, more natural, like it's working with you. Because in the end, you don't need to fight your garden. You don't need more products or more effort. You just need to rebuild what was missing, a living system under your feet. And once that system is in place, everything above it becomes easier. Often, the biggest change doesn't come from doing more, but from finally doing the right thing. Your soil can come back to life. And when it does, your entire garden changes with it.